Right, everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to cover basically all the ways you could set up automations and AI to try to decrease the amount of time you actually have to spend communicating with clients. So we're going to talk about a few factors here. So we're going to talk about when the client contacts you, so the type of things you could do, like a missed call text back, maybe you have an AI secretary, automated voicemail drops, and so on. Then we're also going to talk about the types of flows you could set. So if somebody's booking an appointment with you or they're inquiring about your business, you can set them on maybe a positive response flow. They give you a positive response on the call. You send them a certain flow, negative response, so on and so forth. So we're going to talk about basically every single flow you could create that could save you time in your business, as well as the possibilities with AI, where you could create AI chatbots and connect them to your social media, to your website, even maybe to your emails and text. But in most cases, you're going to want to just do it for your DMs and your website so that you don't actually have to talk to the customers or maybe have to interact with them, and actually leading you to saving time or maybe leading you to not having to pay for an employee to do all these things for you. So if I were to give you guys just an example overview, let's say what we've done for our business. So this, for example, is the appointment confirmation reminder that we have. So the reason why we have this whole flow set up is that if somebody books an appointment with us, we can send them reminder emails, leading them, number one, to increase their show-up rate. So that means they're more likely to show up to their appointments because we're reminding them of it, not just that one time from that Google Calendar pop-up they're going to get or that Google Calendar email. So actually reminding them constantly. Obviously, we're trying to do this in a way that doesn't bother them. So within it, we also give them value. So we give them maybe access to some information. We give them tips. We give them tricks. We try to engage with them before even the call is started, so that increases the likelihood they actually show up. But also all of this is automated, so we don't have to manually do this for every single client. And so if you're doing this, or your team, one of your team members is currently doing this is something you could probably easily automate, and you could use variables, like their names and stuff like that. So it's more personalized to each person. It doesn't seem too bland of an email. So I'm just going to go overview. We have videos covering exactly how to set all these things up, or maybe I'm going to do one in the future. I think I have a video going more into overview, but not into the actual setup. So if ever it's something you guys are interested in, please let me know in the comments. In terms of what we set up as an overview, just to show you, it's basically as soon as they book the appointment, they get an email confirmation. Again, this is all automatic. So email confirmation, they get an SMS confirmation as well, because people tend to read their SMS more. 3 minutes later, they get a bonus email. This is where we give them some value, give them some information that be good for them to have during the call. 24 hours before the appointment, we send them an email. 3 hours before, 1 hour before, we also send them an SMS. And then 15 minutes before, we give them a bonus email. So just more information, more bonus for them. And then 5 minutes before, it's not really a reminder. It's more to say, hey, I'm on the call. Just hop in when you want. Here's the link. So all these things, number one, they help your show up rate. So if we're to look at, the whole funnel here, and you were to assume, maybe your show up rate, I can show you the sales diagnostics flowchart. So let's say your show up rate to your bookings, to your meetings, to your calls, whatever it may be. Let's say even if somebody's inquiring about your business and you're calling them back and you could only get 70% of them on the phone, well, that's going to be, in a sense, your show up rate. And so the ways you could improve this is that as soon as they fill out the form, you can send them these email automations and stuff like that. Or as soon as they book an appointment, you can send them these email automations to try to increase that number. If it's under 70%, this is an industry standard type of thing. So if it's under 70%, you probably have an issue in that region of your business. Now, this doesn't apply to every single business. There might be businesses where this doesn't make sense and others that it does. This is just rule of thumb, benchmark, just to see, okay, if you're doing an overall analysis, if I'm under 70%, there's probably some room for improvement there. So you could do that, set this up, relatively easy within the software, and it allows you to not actually have to spend the time doing it yourself or manually communicating with all of them. So that would be number one. I would say appointment confirmation plus reminder that you could set up. Number two would be if somebody cancels the appointment. So maybe if somebody canceled the appointment, instead of you having to manually contact them back and say, hey, would you like to book another call, and keep engaging with them back and forth, which might be annoying, number one, but two, it takes your time, or it takes your secretary's time and whatever. So what can be worth it for you to do is that when they cancel the appointment, automatically you have another automation set for emails and text. Maybe in terms of call, you might want to call that prospect back, and that you can do with AI, but I don't believe it's strong enough yet as of the day of this video. So in the future, it's going to be a possibility, but for now, I believe just text and email you should be good for in terms of AI and automation. You send them the link back, you send them another, an email informing them about your business and stuff like that. Then if they haven't rescheduled, let's say in this case we have a delay 3 days. So if they haven't rescheduled in 3 days, we send them another email. After that, if they haven't rescheduled 7 days, we send them another email. Then 25 days later, we send them one last email. And then after that, we send them up to an infinity flow. So basically, if you are doing this manually, you could set this up through automations. Basically, have these emails automatically sent. And what you can do is that at the end of it, you send them all to a infinity flow. Basically, this is going to be a flow where every single client that you've lost, or every lead that you've lost, or I put lost in quotation marks because you lost them that moment, but you may gain it back again in the future. You take them all, you put them in this list, and you send them out emails within your infinity flow, basically every month, basically every 6 months, just reaffirming your business, telling them about your new services, just keeping them engaged in your ecosystem, and then potentially you might get some leads back from that, maybe some referrals or whatever it may be. So this is something to keep in mind that you might not be doing right now manually. If you have your team, maybe your team isn't reaching out to all those leads that you lost and keep engaging with them, but this is something you could do, basically automatically. And as long as if you are to do everything else here that I'm talking about in these videos, it's probably worth it for you to set this up as well. Now, the software I'm using is called Go High Level, but there's so many softwares you could use. So if ever you want to check those out online, you can check those out. I have an affiliate link in the description of this video, I believe, for this software. But no issues if you want to use this one or any other ones. There's many ways to do this. Now, another one I could show you would be the missed appointment flow. So pretty much the same thing as the cancel appointment, but that's if somebody didn't cancel and they were supposed to show up and they didn't show up. So again, you could set it up, if manually you were doing before that, if they missed the appointment, you would have to send them an email. Hey, sorry, we missed you at the appointment. Is there any chance you could see us, let's say next week or whatever it may be? Well, now you could do it all automatically as well. You set this up within your CRM, connect all the emails, connect the accounts, and then let's say same principle, 3 days later, you send them an email as soon as they miss the appointment. 3 days later, you send them another one. And in each of these emails, you have a booking link. So they could reschedule a booking. And also, this is just extra optimization, but what you can do is you can have a different booking link for these people. And so that if they book into that new booking link and they miss another appointment, then they don't go into another flow like this. So it's not infinity where you keep allowing them to book another appointment. You stop them at the source. Also, you can have stuff in your CRM that states if the person has missed more than 2 appointments, they're never allowed to make another appointment, because obviously you want to respect your time. So let's say here, same principle, 3 days after, then 4-day delay, send them another email, 25-day delay, you send them another email, and same thing, you set them in the infinity flow, basically forever, in quotation marks, forever you send them emails basically every month. So that's another one there you could do, that if you're doing right now, you can set up pretty easily and reduce the amount of time your team is spending on that. Another one that could be interesting is asking for reviews and referrals. So maybe you aren't doing this, but in any case, it's very valuable for you to do so. Asking for reviews might get tedious, especially if you're a service business that's offering services that are lower ticket. So maybe you're offering, a $50 service, $100 service, $200 service, and you're cranking, 5, 6, 10 of them a day. Well, asking for every single person individually for reviews, your secretary might not have time, might not be worth it for your business. What you could do is you can have an automation for that as well. So basically, you send them maybe for a review as soon as they finish the service, as soon as they leave your store or whatever it may be. Ask them for a review. Then they're in the pipeline. 30 days later, you might ask them for a referral. You can make this more complex. In our case, we just make it simple because we still prefer to do manual outreach for these type of things, because our clients tend to be bigger, so we don't have the necessity to do that much of it in terms of automation. We prefer to do it manually and adapt it to them. But in any case, we have a little one going so that if ever they end up being our clients, they actually go through this whole thing. So things to keep in mind in there. So you basically have these 4 automations you could set that could save you a lot of time. Now, the most important thing, the most valuable thing I'm going to say is going to be your AI chatbot. So again, you could use the software I'm using, Go High Level, to build it. You could use your own as well. In any case, what you could do is build a AI chatbot within it. You train it by basically giving a bunch of Q&As and answering every single question and answer. So let's say in our case, we probably have 50 questions that we asked the chatbot and we answered with our own answers. And so what that does is that when you're asking the questions to the chatbot, so let's say this is our chatbot. So if I were to say this, how do we get in touch with you? It's going to say you can book a call with our team here, blah, blah, blah. It's going to give more information there. So it's basically like any other type of AI chatbot. You just train it to have certain answers. It's going to learn also along the way. And what you'll be able to do is that you'll be able to embed it within your DMs, and you'll be able to embed it within your website. And so if right now you have somebody on your social media managing all the messages you have there, the beauty of a chatbot is that, okay, during the day, maybe it was good for your secretary or the employee that you have to manage all these messages. But outside of business hours, on weekends, on nights, nobody's answering those messages. And so if you have an AI chatbot set there to answer them automatically, you're going to really reduce the amount of time you have to spend doing all that messaging. And it's also going to increase the likelihood that those leads turn into actual customers. Because if let's say I'm customer Joe Blow, and I'm texting you, I'm DMing you at 6 o'clock, I'm not getting an answer until, let's say it's 6 o'clock Friday, I'm not getting an answer until Monday morning. Well, that's 6 o'clock Friday, I'm not getting an answer, I'm probably checking your competition out. Maybe your competition has a chatbot, or maybe your competition closes at 8 that day, or something like that. There's higher likelihood that they're not going to become a client if you don't answer them right away than if you do. And this might be, the questions might be simple questions that could be easily answered with a chatbot. So that's going to lead you to potentially more sales and more leads coming through the whole funnel. So something interesting, I would say the most interesting thing that could save you the most amount of time was be creating these AI chatbots, setting them up on all your DMs, setting them up also on your website. So if ever somebody's searching your website, maybe it's midnight, they don't want to fill out a form, they don't want to call you because obviously it's getting late. At least they could chat with a chatbot, get the answers they need there, and then potentially give them the option to email you through the chatbot, so you get some emails going there. So that's pretty much it. That's the gist of what I think could be the most useful for you to save some time in your business. In terms of how does it affect your business, well, I covered this a little bit in the video, but you could increase basically the likelihood that they go from contacting you to actually purchasing from you. So basically it's this section of the funnel here. So it's conversion rate optimization in terms of your close rate, so in terms of your sales process. So you've got things that you could do with AI and automations to get more leads to your business, to improve your online reputation and how you look online. But then these are going to really be impactful for that section. So basically how to get more people to purchase from you, from their contacts. I'm just going to go back on here for the sales flowchart. If ever you guys want to take a screenshot of this, I don't know if I give you guys the opportunity to. This is just going to be a good diagnostics tool. If ever you're seeing that you're lacking in certain areas, you could probably use this to try to fix it and see where you're lacking. In any case, there's a bunch of information here. This is a tool that I found from Alex Hormozy. So it's not even mine, so I have to give the credit to him. In any case, seems to be a very valuable tool. So that's pretty much it for this video. If ever you guys have any questions, anything you'd like to talk about, please let me know in the comment section below. I'll try to answer them all. If ever you want me to do videos going more in depth on how to set up these actual automations, it's either I'm going to do it on this channel or I'm going to create another channel to go through these how-to tutorials. In any case, please let me know in the comments if you're interested in that. Same thing for the AI chatbot. I could teach you how to build it, like we build it for ourselves and some of our clients. So please let me know in the comments if that could interest you. If you want to download our trainings, we have 12 trainings covering basically every way to optimize your service business online. So today we're talking about how to reduce the amount of time you have to spend on your business, communicating with clients. But there's also tools, to get more leads, to get higher conversion rates and so on. So we have 12 trainings covering that. They're there for free in the description below. If you want to work with us, Vizions Digital, we're an agency that basically optimizes every single aspect of your service business online. So if you're a local service business, especially, we're working with you. And if you're a contractor, we're even more specialized for contractors, but local service businesses in general. In any case, if that makes sense for you, contact us. We have a link in the description there, and we'd be more than happy to see if we can help your business grow online. So that's basically it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.